a planner chat for the ages. If you see what's on my desk, oh my goodness. Let me explain. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I have a lot of stuff on my desk. Yes, I still have my ring planners here. We're going to talk about them. We're also going to talk about these two planners here. They're not really planners. They're more like commonplace books. And this is like my archive planner. And I recently started a new position. So again, life is giving me a curveball. It's more hectic. And my birthday weekend passed. So I wanted to kind of, share some things that I got and then also talk about what am I doing with all this, because it's probably overwhelming and you're probably like, oh my goodness, again. Either way, we all know this is a hobby for me. I do not announce myself like a content creator, influencer, none of that. This is strictly a hobby, and I just like sharing my hobby and what works for me as a working mom and as a sandwich caregiver, which is someone who is still raising children in the household. And although we have one left, also caregiving for my parents, both of them, two people, not one. So for me, my hands are really full. And on top of that, I'm working. So I do work. I do have flexibility in my schedule, and I have two clients that I work with right now. So my hands are a little more in depth with a lot of things. And I'm going to talk about what's going on. First of all, let's kind of move the distractions to the side. Okay, so I'm going to put my new Hobonichi weeks here, and we're going to put those right here. We're also going to take the covers. I'm just going to put the covers on the side because I think we all know what the Hobonichi weeks covers look like. I also got ballpoint pens because honestly, gel pens tend to smear, and I haven't had that problem with my gel pens here, but with Hobonichi weeks, I always go for a ballpoint pen, and I got the zebra ballpoint pens. Now, this is not my love language, this color, so I took two of these coffee pens, okay, from Lopet that I ordered on Amazon, and I'm going to take the ink from this pen and put it in here. So this is what I do whenever I find cute pens. I just take the ink from pens that I really like and put them inside the other pen. So I'm just going to show you. It's the Zebra F3013 series. It's a 0.7 millimeter fine point pen. The finer the point, the smaller you can write. So that's just a basic, description. So this is my baby. I absolutely do love this planner for the purpose that it serves. This is like my appointment planner when I need to write something down, when I need to call the doctor. And I took the first page off because I did have to call my dad's doctor and I had her name on there. So I just didn't want to put it there. So I have, my yearly overview calendar. I still have my monthly calendar here. And I just love, I think, flipping through this little planner and using it in a way where, like, if I'm in a meeting, I could see, like, the days that my son was absent. I could see when there's an appointment, or if I need to book an appointment, then I could see that. This was cute in thought. Will I continue using it in the planner? No, because it was cute, but it's just adding more things on my plate that I don't need. So I'm taking that out, right? And I'm also going to take these out. Now, the good thing about the pocket size planner is that I ended up buying printable inserts years ago, like when I first started sharing my videos. And so I have all these pocket inserts that I purchased, and I could always print and cut them. So for the ones that are not written in, I'm just going to take them out because you never know. I may change my mind and use these as the inserts instead of the weekly that I purchased from Peanuts Planner Co. And that's what I will do. So for right now, this is functioning very well because I get to see an overview of my week when I'm out at an appointment or a meeting. And then if there's like something really stressful or a lot of things going on that day, I will write notes in the form of a daily. But my real note-taking system is this right here, which is the kind of like Hobonichi Weeks inspired daily. So I don't necessarily feel like I need this right here. And I think what's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to pull this out because it's more like a journaling kind of type of insert. And I'm not really for journaling. This is just like my on-the-go planner for appointments and my wallet basically. So it's really my wallet. The notes I do need. And then I have like my bills here, just a reminder for myself, like what I need to pay. And then a to-buy list. Like if I'm out and I need to pick up something, I write down what I need to pick up and put a line through it. Very simple. So honestly, everything in here is very, very functional and I'm using it. The only thing I think that is really accessed is this right here. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it out because although it's very cute, right? Do I need to write down everything that happened? I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do with this information here. So I'm also going to put that to the side and we are just going to keep it moving just like that. You know, and I don't have to necessarily like keep this here. So there are some extra like inserts here, right? So I can use this one from Filofax, and I don't necessarily have to use the dividers from Sweet Freckle Design. So I may take out those dividers and just keep the ones from Filofax because honestly, that's all I need. This is supposed to be a very functional system. I love her. She's been working out great as a wallet. I stick receipts in here in the back and I do have cash in this. She is good to go. Now with this planner, what's happening is because I am working so much and I love this planner, right? She's so pretty. I get to layer her. I get to add the inserts I want in here. And I get to see my overall like year. I get to see all my appointments. And I may just, you know, kind of like keep everything in here as is because I can always look back on what happened. But what I'm starting to notice now with my kind of like planner, and I wrote in blue pen, this is how exhausted I have been. I wrote in blue pen, which is not something I like using. I like black pen. And what ended up happening is that I am so busy now that I'm just literally writing like 3 words of what I need to do. And I haven't been, you know, kind of tracking what I need to track. So I do track my workouts, but I stop like on Tuesday, which is, you know, it sucks, but I need to go back, fill it, right? I have my task management, which I'm not following through with. Now, this right here, this is the life and health maintenance. I love this one because it really keeps me on my toes. So that I do like. I love the mood tracker, but I think I want to do something else with it. It's like I put all these trackers in here and I don't have time for the tracking system, to be honest. So the last time I filled this out was on the 13th, and every time I fill it out, it's like I have to go back 3 or 4 days if I'm being totally honest. So I love this system, right? I even purchased dividers for the system. I purchased all the inserts. Now, I am using a lot of the inserts, so I will say that all my inserts are totally being used. My thing is like whenever the inserts finish or I'm done with them, it's like I either buy more or I buy the printable set and keep on printing, but I still don't have an archive system because I don't want to archive these inserts into a big binder. I've decided that I don't. I want to have a book archive, which is why I have this planner here. So I love this baby. She's beautiful. And she makes me feel like grown up. So this may be like, you know, the planner I take with me, you know, if I need to on the couch and things like that and refer back to, but I love that planner. And then what I'm supposed to do is at the end of the night, I'm supposed to kind of backfill this. And what's going on is that I am so busy with just working, you know, with this new position that I have not even done my expenses. And I stopped on the 4th. So because I'm utilizing these 3 systems, right? And they've been working beautifully. When I had, you know, my previous position, they were working beautifully because I was able to still manage backfilling or filling them throughout the day because I had more time. Now the problem is that I'm not able to do that. So I am stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes, this is still going to be my on the go wallet and planner because I think she's beautiful. I think she's functional. These, we all know, like, they are great to have because whenever you feel like going back into a system, I've learned, keep your planners, keep your covers. Do not throw them out because you may want to go back. And sometimes it really depends where you are at with life. And right now, life has me very busy. I'm very overwhelmed and I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So I'm overwhelming myself and overstimulating myself with all these planners, trying to backfill them. And this is my most recent spread in my commonplace notebook. And this was from the first. And I took my son to an anime convention. I put the stickers that I purchased here. And, right, I added some art in here. My husband got me a Cricut Joy, which is what you see here. I feel overwhelmed. And I'm being honest. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So in the midst of my birthday, I ended up getting these two covers, right? And my husband knows my love language with Hobonichi. And when I saw this cover, I'm like, this cover is absolutely stunning. She is beautiful. I didn't really think I was gonna fall in love with this cover, and I did. There's something about Hobonichi, something about the paper, something about the quality of the book that just attracts me. And now I kind of like the yellowish of the paper. I know people don't like that, but I do. I love that they have a line here that's more pronounced. There's just something about this planner, and this is the spring start. So when I got this, I was like, oh my goodness. I fell in love. And I was like, I don't know. Am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And what I'm talking about is actually sticking with a one book system for everything and having everything in one book. And also removing what is excess in my planning system and only using what I need to. Now, this is the other cover. So yeah, I noticed that this one has dents in it. I don't know if I should return it or just keep it. And I love that they worked with Taro Okamoto. And then this is another artist here that I just love. And honestly, I am in love, right? I really am in love. Now, this one is the one I'm debating because I can either really just return it and get something else or keep it. Because this one I want to use like a journal. And I've seen Scientist Plans, and it's funny because Scientist Plans was looking at my videos for the pocket planner, and I'm looking at her videos for like the Hobonichi weeks because I'm doing a Uno reverse, literally. And this is where I'm at. Sometimes life takes you on a very, very different path. And sometimes people come along the way and put you on a path. And this is what I think happened. I was not thinking about the system. And then as soon as I held this in my hand, like I didn't even want to take it out of the packaging. I was like, this is so pretty. Like, I don't even know what this cover is made out of, but it's so pretty. And what I like about the Hobonichi system is that they're so skinny. You can really complete or have a whole system within a year in these small planners. So this is my planner chat. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way. And the thing is, it's like, I don't want people to feel like embarrassed or ashamed. Like if they end up going through these same emotions and feelings and things in life because life happens, right? So I was using these two items, I think for over a month, right? Going on 2 months. This, I feel like she's going to stay. This is the one that I'm like, I can take these two things and combine it in the one, right? Even this. So basically these three and combine it into the one. I really am debating on this one because this one's so interesting and this is so beautiful, but I did not expect the dent. And I think it, you know, I can definitely flatten it out here and press on it on the side and just kind of see where it takes me because it is beautiful. Or I could just return it and get something else. So this is where I'm at. And the thing is, it's like I have like all these stickers, right? I can't even show you like a setup video because that would take forever. And I know that the only thing I'm probably going to do is like fill these pens with this. And then I really have to make a decision with the cover that I got. And now, okay, so this is this one. But I have to make a decision with this one because I have to see what I want to do with it. And I want to add some things to it, personalize it. I even was thinking about putting like this toe bean sticker here, you know, or just something very simple like right here, you know, something to kind of personalize these stickers, or planner, should I say, with stickers, and then kind of add something here. Like this is super cute. And that's what I love about Hobonichi Weeks is that you can basically, you know, kind of create what you want with it because it's an individual planning system. Now, the only thing is that the appointments here start on March. So I guess this is the purpose of the spring planner. And then this one is a January start. And this is in English, you know, and I can add whatever I need to. So this is where I'm at. This is exactly where I'm at. And I have to make a decision. But I wanted to have this chat because I feel like other people go through this and they may not share, or they may be thinking about sharing, or they don't want to share because, you know, they're gonna feel like people are gonna judge them based on what is happening. And honestly, your planning system is your planning system. Whether you buy 20 planners, 10 planners, 4 planners, 1 planner, use 1 planner, your system is your system. So you have to do what works best for you. And I really like love the 3 faces of this. And I could just easily stick on the plastic cover and train it so it'll lay flat. But this is something that I didn't expect. And now I'm just like, oh my goodness. And of course, you know, I'm going to stick this in a common planner once I decide, yes, I'm going to keep it because this is so flippin' cute. How can I not? How can I not? So that is the chat I wanted to have today. I probably will be setting this up, but at this moment right now, I really need to sit down and think about what I'm going to do. And I love everything I got. I love just being able to kind of really sit and think about what I need to use my planner for in life. And this planner is beautiful, right? Like I set it up, and I'm going to be honest, like when I plan from week to week, because this paper is not as yellow as this one, I have a hard time seeing the lines. I have a hard time seeing like what's on top or on the bottom because the paper is thinner. I don't know how to explain it. And this paper, yes, you can see, but I feel like it's thicker than this paper. So that's why I was like, okay, I really need to think about what I'm doing. I really need to think about my function and purpose. And I really need to think about what I'm going to do. Because I love flipping through this. Like the paper crinkle and everything. But now it's like I don't need to overwhelm myself. And this is where I'm at. I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I wanted to have the planner chat. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you went through something like this. And I wanted to have a very just honest conversation. I guess next week when I set these up, you will know exactly what I decided to do. Either keep this one or return it and get another one. how I'm going to use this one, and basically just see what happens. So stay tuned because I still need to think. And until the next time, bye-bye.